So I've been very lucky in my time here at Wester that I've been able to teach multiple different grades and learn from multiple different students. So I've taught math labs, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, 6th grade math, 6th grade advanced math, 8th grade math, 8th grade advanced, and Algebra 1. When I first started teaching Math Lab, I was a little unsure as to whether I was fully equipped to meet all of the gaps of the students that I had, but I knew if I could get the students to believe that they could do the math, the understanding would come later. So we focused a lot on mathematical confidence equals mathematical competence and differentiated instruction to ensure that students were starting to get the idea of, oh yeah, I can definitely do this. In the end, it worked out as I produced Wester's highest STAR passing rate for Math Lab students, and all of my 8th grade Math Lab students passed STAR in their first attempt. It was a wonderful feeling seeing how excited they were to have this success, and I definitely learned a lot from them as I transitioned into 6th grade. When I started in 6th grade, I redesigned and recreated all of the materials that were being used along with my teaching partner. We implemented themed worksheets, Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, you name it. It was all to keep our students engaged. We also got really good at Canvas Mastery Pass and module requirements to ensure that all of our differentiated students' needs were being met and that we were meeting the needs of standard-based grading. In the end, it worked out as we upheld a STAR passing rate of 97% and a master's rate of 45%. My favorite module requirement, though, that we ever did was a Super Mario Brothers themed one. All of the different lessons were basically different levels in a video game, and as the students navigated through these lessons that connected to equations and inequalities, they gained a trophy. My favorite lesson I ever made, though, was connecting bilingualism to mathematics, specifically in the idea of code switching. Code switching is the idea that even though an object may have different names in different languages, it's still the same object, and it really easily connects to fractions, decimals, and percents because you're all looking at the same amount, even though they have different names. So 1/2, 5/10, and 50% are all speaking to the same thing. This really spoke to our diverse learners. We have lots of students at Wester who speak multiple languages, and they love being able to see themselves and connect what they know in a different language to what we were learning in math. Moving into 8th grade, I really wanted to keep this idea of making lessons that contributed to the real world and where students actually saw the connection of what they were working on. So an example of this type of lesson would be how I made a lesson connecting slope to the Americans with Disabilities Act and how building planners have to make sure that they have the right slope. I also invited Texas Instruments to come give a presentation to 8th grade and Algebra 1 on how they could program using just their TI-84, and it was equipped to work with Python. And a lot of students who are already learning Python on their own were super excited about that lesson. I also have really tried to connect their EOC and STAR reviews to ideas from around the world. So Algebra's STAR review is around the world with algebra. They have a question for each country in the entire world, and it relates to the history of the country or something that's architecturally in the country, and students really loved learning about things outside of their classroom. This leads me to the final idea that I have for building student engagement for 8th grade and Algebra 1. It's based on Dr. Lilladall's Building Thinking in Classrooms in Mathematics, where we use vertical non-permanent surfaces and randomized groups so that students are forced to interact and take risks and problem solve throughout all these different problem-solving tasks. I hope you can see how much I've learned in my time here at Wester, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you.